Hi everybody, Kathy Tooley, Tools for Success. So this video is going to be a tougher one for some to hear, but I just have to say it. I have spent 30 years in a brick and mortar building in the teacher capacity and in the principal's capacity, and I have watched countless parents come through my door complaining about this teacher or this parent, and then they finally pack up and move to this school, and then they move to that school, and then they start talking about this teacher, and then I've been friends with some of these people, and then they want to talk about what this teacher doesn't do for their daughter and how that teacher never provided for their son, so they moved that school district and they went to a different school, but they didn't stay there either because that school didn't meet their child's needs and they just didn't understand their child's needs. So they found a third school, but you know what? They're starting to find out that it doesn't matter what school they go to. It seems to be the same problem. They're not respecting their child. They're not supporting their child. They're not giving the supports that they need, etc., etc. Ready? Ready? Do you know what the problem is? You're the problem. If you've gone to 3 or 4 school districts and you're finding the same issue, grab a mirror. Grab a mirror. It's you. I know no one will sit up and tell you because you're one of those people that no one will tell you anything. So I will tell you the truth. You want to know what's happening with your son or daughter? And you want to know why you keep skipping to 25 different school districts? If you go to the backyard or the front yard, it's still grass. It's still a lawn. If you go to 25 different school districts and find that your child's still having the same problem, that's because the problem is your child. And you're part of the problem. So if you want to fix it, why don't you get in partnership with the school? My kids went to the same school district, K through 12, all 3 of them, K through 12. I didn't love every teacher. I know that's going to shock you because I was a teacher for 20 years. Nah, they had some incredible teachers, but I didn't love every one of them. Matter of fact, there's a couple of them that are coming to mind that I didn't think were super. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't pull my child out of school and go jerk him off to another district because I didn't like that teacher. I got in collaboration with that teacher. We got some partnership. Sometimes I had to. One time in particular I can remember, bring in administration. My son had a coach once. I will never forget it. They called him Coach F-Bomb. I'll let you fill that in. And I said, he says what at practice? So I had a conference with the coach and the principal. And I said, look, I don't get to tell you who you are as a human, but my son's 12. We don't speak that way at home. And therefore I would appreciate it that you not speak that way to my child. But what can I do to help you? And actually the coach just apologized. He said, you know what, you're right. And I said, no. I don't want you walking away from this conference feeling like I came here to attack you. Nobody wins if anyone's attacked. What I'm saying to you is I also don't want to think my son is some little princess who can't hear that word. It's just not a word that I like. It's not a word that my husband and I use. There are lots of other words. I'm not going to pretend that we're perfect, but that's one that bugs us. So I don't want you to feel that from my point. And he said, I don't feel that way. I appreciate you calling it to my attention. I should not be doing that. And of course, when we questioned our son later, he didn't. Gosh, I respect that adult. But I didn't jerk my son off and put him in another football league, take him somewhere else and tell him that, must be that school district, must be that coach. I'm not going to have my son talked to that way by that coach, which I'm not. But I've had parents come into me and say to me, my daughter feels intimidated by you, because I can be a lot. I wanted to crawl. I wanted to get in a ball and cry. That's not who I am or who I want to be. I know I could show up that way. So I looked to that child and said, talk to me. What can I do? They didn't jerk their child out, but it astounds me. The parents that brag about, man, you got your child in that school. I pulled mine out and moved them over here. I can remember as a principal, kids didn't come to school. They didn't come to school. Some of them were daycare providers for their children, for their younger siblings. And when I called and cornered the parent on it, like, they've got to be in school to learn. I can't teach them if they're not here. There's other boxes that are out there for students that can't attend. There are online, lots of online schools, but that's not my brick and mortar building. They would just pick them up and take them to another brick and mortar building, and guess what? Their kids still didn't come to school. So I am making this video because of this. If you are out there and you are feeling frustrated with your child's school and you can't and haven't fixed it, I promise you the problem is you. I promise you. Schools do not operate every day so we don't have a chalkboard where we check off the ticked off parents, where we get bonus points for the parents that think we're awful, because we get some kind of reward or kickback. The state pays us more money if you hop from school to school. I promise you that checklist doesn't exist. So if you want the best education for your child, get involved in it. Pick up a mirror and start asking yourself, what can I do to collaborate with my child's school? Stop looking for somebody else to raise your child and start looking at us for who we are. We are educators. We are not your child's mom and dad. You gave birth to that child. You raised that child. We will stand in partnership with you, always. But jumping and hopping from one school to another or complaining about what everybody else is doing, you really want to fix it? Pick up a mirror, and then you'll figure out the problem. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I know that wasn't always necessarily easy to hear, but it's got to be said. Don't forget to like, follow, share, do all the things you do with this video, and we can't wait to see you on the next step of our journey. Have a fantastic day.